The conqueror writes history. They came, they conquered, and they wrote. Now you don't expect people who came to invade us to write the truth about us. They will always write negative things about us. And they have to do that because they have to justify their invasion. We don't write our history. It has always been handed down to us orally by our elders. Of course, the white man came and he writes history. In fact, you don't know anything about any place until the white man gets there. Until the white man comes to any place, nothing lives. It's only when he comes and say, "Boof, I've discovered you, now you exist."
I respect the Western for one thing. For whatever resources that they came to extract from our continent, they did not put it in their pockets. They went to build their countries with it. And so they built the life of their great-great-grandchildren for the next 200 years. They have a system, they have a political system, a democratic system that is constituted within their countries, and that protects them. That gives them benefits. That gives them incentives. We, on the other hand, doesn't have the opportunity to go to another man's country to steal their gold, their oil, and come and build our continent. We already have the resources. But we haven't been able to acquire the world to work for us. We only bring the world to come and take from us. You see, there's a difference in wanting and needing. I don't know if Africa wants or needs. Because if it's them wanting, they already have. They have enough resources to survive. But there is something they need to make the resources become refinable, to become, repackaged, to become manufactured again. That is the energy to be able to put plants, to be able to manufacture, create hubs, industrialization, petrochemical clusters, to recycle your own petrochemicals and create energy to sustain your industrial development. For me, I call this education. Some people might call it work. But you don't need to go to university to get degrees to survive. You need to really learn what is around your surrounding, how you can make the best out of it. That is education. Africans need to be educated by their own resources, by their own tradition, by their own culture, by their own state governance. It shouldn't be from the Western. It shouldn't be from Asia. It shouldn't be from anywhere else. If anybody visited Africa, it's because they are coming to congratulate us for how well we have built our nations and our continent, not because they found out that there's gold and oil here, so they're coming to take their share. This is the change that we are asking for the youth of today. This is the revolutionary movement we're talking about. We don't have a fight with anybody. We're not fighting with our fathers, with our leaders. We're just saying that, look, we want to change because we're thinking the likes of the Western for the future of our children's children and our race and our culture to be respected.
But we may be small, we still need stabilizers. And especially we need stabilizers in two areas: protecting our reserves and safeguarding the integrity of our public service. Why do I say this? Because these are two critical elements that give us safety, security, assurance, and resources for the future. It's taken us decades to build up our foreign reserves. They are our oil in the ground. If we don't have a second key, and you happen to have a generous or profligate government, then one government can spend it all and bring you back to zero. Elections will become auctions where the parties compete to be more generous than the other, offering what it can do to voters by raiding the bank, as happens in countries much richer than us. You look at Australia, when 10 years ago, under basically a conservative government, they built up a significant amount of reserves or surpluses. They set up pension fund for the future, and they said this is our sovereign wealth fund, and this is to make sure that in future you'll be provided for state pensions and so on. But then came elections, and both parties, whether in government or out of government, because of the dynamic of the situation, they had no choice. One side offers something, the other side offers more. and back and forth. It's an auction. Today, the funds for the future have disappeared. The country is in deficit. The commodities boom is over. The budgets cannot be settled. They have to cut back spending. It's extremely contentious. We are back where they were, all within 10 years. It can happen to Australia with all that wealth and resources. Think what can happen if it's Singapore. That's money. What about people? The whole of our excellence in government, competence, the performance of the country depends on the integrity and the ability of the individuals in the key posts in the public service. Judges, central bankers, the accountant general, the commissioner of police, the people who head our stat boards, who sit on our stat board, key stat boards, the people who manage our reserves. Once corrupt persons get into key positions, that's the end. It's not only the end because they take money and help themselves, because you can stop that and put them in jail. It's the end because they subvert and corrupt the system and make it impossible to root out the cancer, which then becomes entrenched throughout the system. The system is permanently broken. You look at other countries. President SBY, President Yudhoyono of Indonesia, used to lament publicly about the problem he had with what he called the judicial mafia. He doesn't mean the mafia on the streets. He means judges whom he could not trust for their integrity because they had become corrupt and they had become part of the problem. You look at other countries where the police are in cahoots with the crooks. And if you have a problem, you're not sure whether you should go to the police station or run away from the police station. Or you look at countries where those responsible for safeguarding state assets instead raid the bank. As the Malay proverb goes, pagar makan padi. You are the hedge, but you are eating the rice, which you are supposed to protect. To prevent this, or at least to make this harder, this system needs a second key. And the challenge is for us how to ensure this second key strengthens and stabilizes our system of government.